Okay, cool. My name is Cornell DeJongh. I'm a biomedical engineer at Leatt Brace. I'm involved in the R&D in the lab, doing all the testing on the brace and basically, developing new concepts and evaluating the performance of the brace.
What's it been like for you to be involved in such a important product in motocross?
It's awesome. It's awesome to see guys out there wearing the brace, and actually, you know, it's all a combination of hard work that you do every day, and I mean, all the credit should go to Dr. Chris Leatt. Obviously, he developed the whole product, but it's still nice knowing that you're actually part of this whole development and that you're actually saving lives out there.
Yeah. So, did it pick up or catch on as much as you thought it would, or did it exceed your expectations? I mean, the first time that Jeff and Hop put one around my neck, I was like, you guys are kooks, get that thing away from me. But I mean, it's really become standard equipment in motocross.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, initially some people had said that it sort of looks like a toilet seat around your neck, and people looked at it a bit strange, and that was actually just before my time, and I think when I heard how much it took off, that was just, I actually arrived at Leatt just after it really took off. I think everyone was taken by storm and by surprise. It's quite something.
So I'm sure you hear stories, get letters and emails every day about people thanking you for your product. I mean, how does that make you feel?
It's awesome. It's a nice feeling, and especially when you know when a guy had a serious accident and they send us back the brace that's in pieces, and you see how the brace actually worked, the fracture zones function properly and all of that. And yeah, just to get the thank you letters, it's awesome to see that, and it's awesome to forward that on to the whole company, and sort of it makes the whole company feel part of a really good cause. It's cool.
We're good. We're doing it.
Okay, so then the new Pro brace just came out. That was quite an evolution in there's a nice involvement from the original brace. What is next in the evolution of the Leatt Brace?
Well, that's a question a lot of people ask us, and it's quite difficult in terms of really. Obviously, we want to move forward and we want to evolve the brace, but in terms of functionality, we're sort of at a point where we're probably 99% happy about how the brace is functioning. So that makes that gives us a bit of a challenge in terms of really evolving the brace or changing the design and things like that. Obviously, we can look at things like weight and slenderness and minimize some components and so on, and that's what we've done. So I think at this stage the Pro brace is really where we're at in terms of our evolution, and yeah, moving forward. Who knows? We're working on that every day. It's what we do in the lab. But at this stage, we're really happy with what the Pro brace is.
Okay, they say that imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, but so many other people come out with their own brace. You know, you're protected by patents and so on and so forth. But how does that make you feel that so many other people have jumped on the neck brace bandwagon?
Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing for the sport and for protection in the sport. We're always very interested to see new products out there and to see what maybe new concepts they come up with and new ideas and so on. So I think for me personally, it's quite an exciting thing. I like seeing other guys actually also joining. Sometimes it's a bit frustrating to know that we were the initial people doing all the research and all of that, and a lot of hard work has gone in, and I think for subsequent people to come in, it's a bit easier. I suppose it's like that with all products. It's a bit easier for them to sort of take it from where it is at the moment and try and bring out something new. But it's still cool. Nothing wrong with it.
Okay. So some of the things that people, anti-neck brace people, say is it breaks collarbones. Address that concern.
Well, that's a question we get quite a lot. Well, just in terms of statistics, collarbone injuries are 50 times more likely than a neck injury. So even before the brace, I mean, collarbones is a common thing to break. I'm sure just about anyone that rides has broken a collarbone at some stage in their lives. So in terms of the brace breaking the collarbone, well, we never say no, it can't, like 100% certain that it can't. I mean, things can happen. It's the same with the seatbelt. The seatbelt can injure you during a crash. It might happen. But the brace, as far as we can, the brace was designed to actually sit away from the collarbone and alleviate the stress on that area. And also, just an interesting thing is, of all the collarbone injuries, it's very rare that you see a collarbone being broken inwards. And if it was a brace that broke the collarbone, you'd actually see the collarbone being fractured inwards.
Yeah.
Most collarbones fracture outwards. So that's just something to keep in mind. Just a little common misperception that people have.
Okay. How about the thoracic support on the spine? Like, you know, there's the new brace out there that has away from the spine. Really tout that feature.
Yeah. Well, firstly, the reason for the strut sitting where it is that it's for fitment and for the brace to be in the correct position during hyperextension injuries, and also for the brace not to rotate away during hyperextension injuries. So it's a design feature that's quite important. We believe it's the right place. It should be there where it is, and also, as you say, there's this misperception that the thoracic strut might cause thoracic spine injuries, but it's been designed to fracture at 300 newtons of force, which is 30 times less than the required ECE regulation, which is 9,000 newtons for back protectors. So there's actually, in terms of design, there's a safety factor of 30. And so we feel quite confident that in terms of pushing into the spine and breaking the spine, that it's pretty much near impossible for the strut to, on its own, cause a thoracic spine injury. And then in addition to that, the thoracic spine is the area that's injured the most in the back. I mean, if you look at any statistical graphs or distributions, you'll see that the T7, T8 area is the most fractured area in the back, and this is by chance where the strut sits, and it creates a misperception about what is actually fracturing the back.
So like, a lot of guys are taking them off now. It's like almost kind of like the trendy thing. Like maybe like back in the day, guys with open face helmets or something. But I mean,
yeah.
How does that make you feel that there's people that are rallying against it? I mean, I know like there's a certain person in motocross that's like a pioneer against neck braces.
It's a bit, must say, it's a bit disheartening to see that, especially you see a guy riding, always used to wear the brace, and now he doesn't wear it because of stories and rumors that they hear. I think it's something we really want to work on. We want to try and get the word out there and try and change the misperceptions. But as I say, it's not nice to see that a guy that was protected is now unprotected whilst riding. So yeah, it's a bit, in terms of that, it's a bit disheartening. Yeah.
Okay. I know that some of the reason you protect the product is to keep from people copying it right off your way, but like there's patents and stuff available. Are you guys ever going to start enforcing those patents?
We are actually, it's a long process. As we speak, we are enforcing them to our best of our abilities. We've got a good legal team with patent attorneys and so on working on that. So yes, I mean, you want to protect your IP. It's something that we actively pursue.
I was just going to ask a question along the same lines you already addressed with the thoracic injuries. And I don't even know how to put it into words, but it's supposed to break at like a certain amount of pressure. If it breaks, then will your neck break?
No, it actually, we've designed...
It might be a stupid question.
No, it's not a stupid question at all. It's actually been designed to, through simulation. We've got a detailed spine model that we use for simulation. It's actually validated with cadaver properties. So it behaves in the correct way. It's very biofidelic. We use this simulation model to actually determine when you have an hyperextension injury, that's when your neck goes backwards all the way. Firstly, what you want to do is you want when the helmet touches the brace, you want the forces in the neck to be reduced. So after the forces in the neck has been reduced and the head is still busy going backwards, then you want, and it's becoming a dangerous scenario where you might have the strut sort of being pushed into the back or whatever. At that stage, it should break. So it's a multi-stage sort of design where firstly you reduce the forces in the neck, and secondly, during the crash sequence, the strut fractures away.
So it like cushions it all.
Yeah, so in terms of that, we've designed it through a simulation model that actually shows the whole crash sequence, and you can actually specifically design for certain things during the certain times in the crash sequence. So it's very important that you first reduce the forces in the neck and then break the strut. So the strut has been designed to be strong enough to hold the brace up and steady during when it's supposed to do its work, and then after that it fractures. So
and then I have another question about, because we're kind of trying to dispel the beliefs of these people that aren't wearing braces anymore, and one of them is that people are starting to think that it transfers force to the helmet in the event of a crash because your head stops, and then it like head injuries are becoming more common. People are thinking, is that something that
it's something we're looking into as well, or we have looked into it once again through simulation, where we actually look at brain rotation and relative velocity between the skull and the brain. That gives you a good idea of a good indication of what's happening during the impact between the helmet and the brace, whether the brain is now rotating more or whether there's higher forces between the skull and the brain. And at this stage, actually, instead of worsening it, the brace actually helps it. It actually improves, it actually reduces relative skull-brain velocities and forces. So we are actively doing more research into that, but at this stage in our early simulations and testing shows that it actually helps, if anything.
Well, yeah, it was nice meeting you and sitting down with you. Thanks for
Cool. Thank you very much. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.